Hello everybody, I'm researcher Lim Wan Chi from the Department of Public Relations in University Tunku Abdul Rahman. And today, I'm going to give you a better insight of our research with the title K-Drama It's Okay to Not Be Okay, discovering the existence of the audience involvement on mental health awareness. Well, learning is the basic survival key for humans' existence. It takes place almost every second in humans' daily chores. Observe and imitate is a natural instinctive reaction in humans and animals. There are even times when humans' brain will automatically reflect observable behavior on individuals. So sometimes, this behavior can be so subtle that people are unaware it is fed into them unconsciously. So now, let me give you a better insight about social learning. Let's go! Founded by Albert Bandura in 1977, social learning is shared and exists everywhere in the society. According to Randall et al. 2010, social learning by observation or interaction with others is common in nature, and it is fundamental to humanity's significant success. Individuals, they learn various new behavior through close observation of others, such as emotional responses, how to use a technique in their atmosphere, and how to increase or decrease inhibits. It is typically a phenomenon that happens not only by observing others, but also by influencing their behaviors through entertainment. Following on, the study by O'Rourke in 2006 claimed that theories of social learning have demonstrated behaviors is shaped not only by individuals or life models, but those mass media such as film and drama can also portray them as one of the critical consequences that will influence the motivation and behavior of daily human chores. Therefore, due to the heavily occur of social learning in our society, things have changed daily. The term Hallyu refers to the Korean wave phenomena which flooded into many Asian countries such as China, Thailand, Indonesia, and the world war in 1999. While in Malaysia, it was all started when Rienda Sonata debuted on the Malaysia TV channel, TV3, in 2002. It had successfully infiltrated the die-harder Malaysians by profoundly influencing people's perception towards Korean fashion, songs, food, and film. Since then, Malaysian culture was heavily affected by Korean beef. When eating Maggi, people prefer to have kimchi as a side dish. While looking into fashion, Korean fashion is everywhere in the street.
어서와. 이 채널은 처음이지?
We use Korean language in our daily conversation, such as 진짜, meaning seriously, 안녕하세요, meaning hello, as well as 사랑해요, I love you. Those terms are widely used by the nations, even in Malaysian context. So far, I believe you have understood the changes brought by social learning through media. So now, let's move on to another important topic in the title, which is mental health awareness. Mental health is associated with depression, anxiety, and stress impacting people in daily chores such as the workplace, economic impact, as well as family stress. In 2015, Ministry of Health Malaysia has published a report concluded that there was increased number of mental disorders in Malaysia. 29.2% of adults whose age 16 and above are facing mental health illness, which this is equivalent to 4.2 million of Malaysians. Thus, researcher Lu and Furham in 2012, Hassan et al. In 2018 had done several research and found out that insufficient attention and exposure in media space are some of the factors that prohibited the dissemination of mental issues in our society, which it will actually lead to the inadequacy of knowledge about psychiatric illness and treatment. Hence, mass media, it actually serves a virtual channel to convey the information as it can spread rapidly and reaching the mass audience holistically. In this research, audience involvement plays a role for the researcher to study the effect of drama on cultivation and social learning process. Brown in 2015 identified 4 processes in audience involvement, including transportation, parasocial interaction, identification, and worship. Transportation is a state where the audience is highly committed to the story, so their cognition and emotions will follow exactly the story's fluctuation. When audience undergoes the parasocial interaction process, they will actually establish a one-way relationship with the media persona of the character on the television. Identification tends to explain audience adopt the belief, values, and attitude of what they have observed and internalize it through a self-defining process. While worship, on the other hand, is the most transcendent audience involvement process because the audience tend to see the media character as a god and adulation. However, this research will focus only on transportation and identification to understand audience involvement in drama It's Okay to Not Be Okay. To illuminate this uncharted area, we, the researcher, will examine this phenomenon through drama. In June 2020, a South Korean romantic drama series, It's Okay to Not Be Okay, with the later title, Psycho, But It's Okay, directed by Park Shin-woo and screenwriting by Joo Young. It was premiered on Netflix last year on 20th June to 9th August. The romance plot in K-drama, we all know it is renowned among the audience. But this drama is different from most romance in K-drama because it tells the unusual romance story about characters with trauma and autism. Drama It's Okay to Not Be Okay has perfectly breaks the dull romantic firework plot and portray noble intention that can heal the audience lonely and lost feeling in some ways. K-drama's presence seems not intuitive but was exposed to the audience through various means of communication such as social learning and cultivation theory to reach a consensus with the audience. Therefore, this research explored the audience involvement among young Malaysian audience by adapting the drama It's Okay to Not Be Okay into the social learning process. Through the narration and character engagement that the drama given to the audience, it helps to shape attitudes and behaviors among them. In this research, drama It's Okay to Not Be Okay served as the subject matter for the whole social learning and cultivation process. According to Audient and Joe in 2010, television programs serve as the major fundamental that allow the audience to encode the information underlined and then store it in their memory. So, this simply means that people will remember the drama scene and reflect similar actions or behaviors in real life. For instance, the audience will desire to eat kimchi after watching K-drama and tend to adopt this culture in their daily life. While audience involvement here plays a role for the researcher to study the effect of drama on cultivation and social learning process. It leads to audience attitudes and behavioral change at the end. Through this, the researcher explored the identification and transportation process among the audience after watching the drama. In order to explore these phenomena, a qualitative study was conducted by using the phenomenology approach to understand the audience social learning process after being exposed to drama It's Okay to Not Be Okay. We will be analysing the audience stories, views, and perception to explore the audience involvement among the young Malaysian. The researchers had taken 3 days to conduct the actual interview with the informants. The interview was conducted through online platforms such as Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, and all the interview was conducted between 45 to 60 minutes. All samples are chosen based on the requirements set by the researchers, which all the youth must age between 18 to 30 years old. It is regardless of gender and ethnicity. They must be Malaysians, and they must finish watching the drama It's Okay to Not Be Okay. And the most important component is they must be willing to join as the participants for this research. Then, an in-depth interview through semi-structured questions was used as an instrument for data collection. In order to strengthen the reliability of semi-structured questions, we have adopted the interview protocol refinement framework by aligning it to explore the social learning process in terms of audience involvement. We've also adapted the questions through resembling various related research papers to ensure it is much reliable and strengthen the credibility. So, after the interview, we have created 2 teams in findings. Firstly, engagement. The word engagement can be well defined as humans' emotional involvement or commitment to something. In this research, the engagement highlight appear in characters, emotions, and narration. Firstly, character engagement is the participation of self into the drama in which audience is deeply immersed into the character and causing them to lose their identity but share with the character's identity. The informants somehow feel that they are very much like the character in terms of attitudes and behavior when they are performing the daily practices. Whenever the narration requires the character to go on with something or just to decide something, the similarities between informant and the character will actually prompt them a situation where they will tend to put themselves into their favorite characters and feel exactly what their characters feel. Indirectly, this had led them into imagining themselves participating and evolving in the story, which integrated them into the story's character. Thereby, it will actually change their personality and leads to a long-term behavior changes. While the second team created was feelings. As far as the informants experience engagement, it will cause them to engage their emotions with the characters. And then, it will eventually trigger their emotions to sense pity, happiness, or anger when looking at the characters experiencing on any undesired incidents. It makes them feel exactly the character's feeling. So according to the data from 3 informants, they will calmly express their feeling, and when they were asked to imagine their favorite characters when they failed to achieve their goals, their feeling has been heavily affected. However, we found that 2 informants they tend to become agitated when asked to imagine the predetermined situation and share their feelings on their favorite characters. The informants is shown unconsciously express excessive emotion when they are required to imagine their favorite character's failure from the response. So, with that, we have come to concluding that familiarity is the initial stage of identification where the audience get emotionally attached to the character as soon as they understand them entirely. It's based on the immersion of the audience with the character, and it must first start with exploring and understanding the character to see if he or she has some similar or opposing traits that the audience can perceive. Conversely, the transportation process was found through the audience immersive feeling with the drama's narration, which these are all extensively played by the characters, and without any of this, neither was unable to convey message effectively. And on the other hand, the feeling component is crucial to human beings, especially in expressing self-emotions towards stimulants. Hence, researchers found that passive watching of the drama is also an interest that can bring the audience feeling, which this is especially happen towards some scenes. And not all scenes can stimulate informants' feeling, but those that can do so are able because of the similar life events that happen to the audience. And this is also explained by their connection with the character they have undergone through the state of losing self-identity and sharing similar traits with the characters, which made them unwilling to accept bad things that occur to their favorite characters in the plot. So in general, the emergence of audience involvement is associated with the previous event that the audience experienced, which may affect their belief in the real world because of the story and characters. And that's all from me. Thank you for sparing your time and watching my video. See you!